Welcome to another much-delayed episode of Mayo Movie Club. I hope the videos on the RoboCop sequels have held you over till now. Those were really fun to do. And if you're new to the channel, welcome. This is a series I put out every couple months to recommend movies to viewers. I don't get into spoilers, I don't explain too much. I just give you some general info and let you take control of the rest. Longtime viewers know that I always include a horror movie, so let's start with that. Arachnophobia from 1990, starring Jeff Daniels. Not exactly a terrifying movie, it's pretty campy at times, and a few scenes are outright comedy, but if you have a fear of spiders like me, this one is going to get under your skin. When a science expedition discovering new species of insects in the jungle comes across a deadly species of spider, their photographer gets bit. When transporting his body back to America, it isn't known that the spider is actually hiding in the box. When it arrives back in his hometown, the spider escapes, crossbreeds, and creates a massive infestation. In this town is a newly moved-in family, the man of the house relocating everyone to this new town because of a job opportunity to be the local doctor. This city man struggles to make friendships in the small town, with everyone holding their trust in the old doctor that's retiring. And in the middle of his social struggles and the family trying to find their place, the spider infestation is happening in the barn behind their house, and he is horribly afraid of spiders. People start dying around town as the spiders start invading homes, and the two doctors are trying to figure out what's going on. I can't say much more about the story other than it's filled with a lot of creepy moments and even a little action. John Goodman shows up to play an exterminator, and he ends up being the best part of the whole movie. Arachnophobia also serves as a wonderful example of the concept of setup and payoff in storytelling. It's so good that I've thought about doing a video specifically on that, someday. The next movie is going to be something more recent, and we'll keep it in the horror genre for now. Train to Busan from 2016. I'll bet a good number of you have already seen it. It's fairly recent and it was a pretty big deal. And I think this is the best zombie movie ever made. This Korean-made masterpiece is a thrilling, creative, and emotional roller coaster ride, or rather, train ride, during the start of the zombie apocalypse. A man and his daughter are trying to make it to Busan where the young girl's mother is. The feral zombies work their way up the train car by car, as our main characters and the people we meet fight to survive, sometimes fighting each other, as some become too scared to help people who need to be saved. What makes this movie so good is the camera work, the zombie effects, and the awesome scenarios the filmmakers create to make the train setting interesting, like the zombies not being able to see anything in the dark, so people can use tunnels as moments of safety. It's not just a great zombie action movie, it's one that stays with you because of the incredible acting and relationship between the father and daughter. Unbelievable performances, and an ending that succeeds on such emotional levels that it's unforgettable. I wish I'd seen this one in theaters because it's so exciting. I feel like I missed a cinematic experience. And, well, I just love going to the movies and getting a popcorn and a Coke. Sharp turn into a very different genre. Let's talk about When Harry Met Sally. Some of you may not know this, but I'm a total sucker for romantic comedies. I love to laugh, and any story about finding true love just destroys me. I feel every bit of it, the good and the bad. Maybe that's because of my own experiences, or maybe I'm just naturally sensitive to it, but any story about love, or family, or friendship, I am very moved. When Harry Met Sally is part of the, I guess, Meg Ryan trilogy. She's in 3 classic love stories, this one, You've Got Mail, which we've talked about on the series, and Sleepless in Seattle, which I also recommend. So When Harry Met Sally follows Meg Ryan and Billy Crystal over a period of years. They meet in college, Crystal basically just hits on her, and Ryan is uninterested, especially since Crystal is dating her friend. Nothing happens, but they cross paths years later and start to talk. That's the format. Every few years there's another part of the story, eventually forming a really strong friendship, but never crossing the line, until they do, and then it gets complicated. It's a story about that, about the complications that come from introducing intimacy into a close friendship, witnessing the destruction and figuring out if you can save the friendship or possibly make something romantic happen for real. It's sweet, it's pretty funny, and most of all I would just call it charming. Watch this one and then tell your mom or one of the old ladies in your family about it. They'll be happy you saw it. So I said I'm easily moved by stories about relationships, and this next movie definitely has one that affects me, and that's Darren Aronofsky's The Wrestler, which to me is his best movie. Simple, serious, and real. Following a wrestler played by Mickey Rourke, who's about 20 years past his prime in the ring, but he's still gotta pay bills. He's not making the big bucks on pay-per-view anymore. He's got a day job in a store, and some nights he performs in local, kinda underground wrestling matches. You see the brutal lengths people go to entertain the bloodthirsty public, cutting themselves, using staple guns, just destroying their bodies. All part of the show. Until he has a fucking heart attack. And now under doctor's orders, he can't wrestle ever again. So who is he now? How does he survive when wrestling is all he knows? The movie follows him as he makes friends with a local stripper played by the stunning Marissa Tomei, and she's got her own issues going on. He also tries to repair his relationship with his daughter, who he abandoned many years ago. He's a fuck-up, incredibly irresponsible, and we're here to watch the sad journey towards the redemption that he desperately seeks. The Wrestler is a powerful film. I may even consider it one of my favorites of all time. I hope you'll watch it if you haven't already. And man, that Bruce Springsteen song, it just gets me. Have you ever seen a... The last movie I'll mention is one that I won't say much about. It's another Korean film. This time it's The Handmaiden, the story of a woman who comes to work as the handmaiden for another woman in a family high up in society, and a secret romance brews. There's mystery, conspiracy, some pretty intense sex, so be careful who you're watching this around, and it's just a really clever screenplay with fun twists and turns. I highly recommend you watch the theatrical cut, not the extended cut or director's cut, because it changes the order of scenes that deliver important information. It just flows very differently. Stick with theatrical, it's a much more satisfying experience. That does it for this episode of Mayo Movie Club. Thank you so much for watching. You guys know I do this for you, so if you want to support me and help me maintain my independence and keep this up, please consider joining my Patreon or becoming a channel member here on YouTube. Take care.